Good afternoon, good morning, good week. Whenever you're watching this is Chris of DatingDoc, and I'm here with the DatingDoc podcast. It is July 20th, 2018, and we got a good subject here at hand. We're going to talk about Tinder versus Bumble, okay? And it's more specifically Match Group and what's going on in the world of dating and why I feel that they've bastardized the dating process. So it's going to be a good topic. Now, understand first off that I am the dating doc. What we do is we provide dating advice. We see clients throughout the week, and it is a play on words with a company. It's not just called the dating doc because we're the cure for the common date, but it's the dating doc because we document. It's a documentary on the lifestyle of dating. We do that because we want to round out your understanding of dating nowadays. It's not just providing and pumping you with advice. It's also finding out what is going on around society that affects companionship, dating, meeting that right person, and enjoying the process. So what we got going on today is, here's the thing. Now, unless you've been living in a cave, you understand that there's websites that you meet singles on, websites and apps. And about 3/4, if not 4/5, depending on how you want to play your fractions, are owned by Match Group Limited. Now, Match Group Limited is a company that, as you know, owns Match.com, owns Plenty of Fish, OkCupid, Tinder. They have a huge stake in Tinder. And what they've been looking at doing is acquiring Bumble. For those that are not familiar, Tinder and Bumble are the top two dating swiping apps. So I'm sure you've heard the swipe left, swipe right. And why is there drama? You're probably wondering, okay, what does this matter to me? It's not a juicy topic. Who controls your matches? Okay, this is important because dating nowadays, it almost feels like it's been bastardized in a way. And in the past, 15, 20 years ago, there was a little bit more of that magic and that first impression. And nowadays, singles are too busy at happy hour staring down at their phones, swiping left and right instead of trying to catch that eye contact and that good first impression. So it's important for you to know who owns your dating world. And in this case, it's more than likely going to be Match Group Limited and also Bumble. So what's going on here? Okay, so you're probably wondering. Let's get into this. So Whitney Hurd, who's the chief executive officer of Bumble, which, by the way, Bumble is out of Austin, an hour north of San Antonio, is accusing Match Group of bullying tactics. The reason being is that Match Group offered Bumble $450 million to acquire it. Bumble obviously turned that down. Now, what's interesting is that Whitney Hurd, she actually left Tinder. She was one of the co-founders after allegations of her receiving sexual assault, or there's sexual assault accusations from other executives at Tinder. So she broke off and created Bumble, which, as we know, is a rival, is a competitor to Tinder. Now, Mandy Ginsberg, who is the Match Group Chief Executive Officer, CEO, she told staffers in an internal memo obtained by MarketWatch that the lawsuit that Bumble was hitting Tinder with was about protecting the integrity of their work and not singling out any individual company. Now, what Bumble accused Match of is not only the bullying tactics, but the fact that the lawsuit was trying to defame Bumble. And this was more, honestly, a little bit petty because what ended up happening was Match is almost like that overprotective big brother. And what gets me about it is that, Match being this, honestly, a little bit petty and trying to acquire Bumble. So instead, they just talk crap about Bumble, and Bumble again retorts and responds with a one-page full ad on the New York Times. And it says, we swipe left on you. We swipe left on your multiple attempts to buy us, copy us, and now intimidate us. And, it's interesting because, again, Match Group used to be part of Interactive Core. And they had a whole host of other websites. And then Match Group broke off and is now, in a way, a cartel of online dating websites. Everything from, again, OkCupid, Plenty of Fish, Match.com, also Our Time, Black People Meet. The list goes on. And they've even, have even continued to acquire. This is a company that did go public back in October 2015. So not only are they in the business of getting more subscribers and getting more people to pay for services and ads, things of that sort, but now they got to make the stockholders happy. And what I have found is that when a company starts off with great intentions and then now has to answer to stockholders, things can go a little bit awry. And I think that's a little bit of what's happening with Match. It's one thing where if you want to control and you want to evolve the way people watch movies, like Netflix. It's another thing if you want to change the way that people buy things, which Amazon and Walmart online have changed the game. But when you're changing dating and courtship, something that to me is a lot more of a human process. It does take time. It's not as easy, and it's not a tangible I buy and receive type of product like Amazon or Netflix. You're really messing with something here. And what ended up happening, in my opinion, is that Match Group has turned from, hey, let's really focus on getting some good relationships going, to let's just get a quantity of people that are going to swipe left, swipe right, and become customers, become members. And I feel that Bumble is a little bit of that underdog. I'm not going to say that it's I'm just going to root on Bumble because they happen to be the underdog, because they're not the bigger company. But at the same time, they're not public yet. And right now they're showing that they're not trying to acquire other companies. They're trying to stand on their own. And, again, especially when you have a founder from Tinder, again, Whitney Hurd, the CEO of Bumble, breaking off from Tinder and saying, you know what, we're going to make this a better experience for women. If you know that Bumble, the way that works, the way Bumble is different from Tinder is that Bumble does want women to initiate conversation. That's just the way the user interface works. Tinder has been accused of being more of a hookup app. It's kind of the label that it's been placed on Tinder. But again, it's part of a family of other websites like a Match.com, like a Plenty of Fish, like a OkCupid, that in some ways have been looked at as hookup apps. Maybe not as much Match.com, but certainly Plenty of Fish. I think Plenty of Fish was one of those free websites back in the days that people would go to when they didn't want to pay for Match.com, and you get what you pay for or not pay for. So Plenty of Fish was, in a way, it was a wasteland of hookups, or if you want to look at it, could be the junkyard of hookups or the buffet of hookups. But it definitely was the first hookup website. And I would hear that from a lot of clients through my first company, Synergy Dating. This is years before Tinder came out. So what we got right now is we have this landscape of dating that has become more of a Candy Crush of dating. Okay, they're going to make more money off of, guess what? Memberships and activity. They honestly do not care if you're making any kind of connection or relationships. They don't make money off of that, and I don't blame them. I don't blame them. It's like comparing Netflix and saying, well, Netflix cares about how many movies you liked. In a way, yes, but they're not going to listen to those individual stories. What they're going to want is they want statistics. In this case, they're going to want, hey, how many people have seen our new movie, Bright? The Will Smith movie where he has a ogre as a partner, and this movie was actually created based on algorithms. Netflix was looking at what are our fans looking at, our members looking at, and let's create a movie based on those algorithms and statistics. Now, what you've got is you got a culture of swiping. This is not a culture of connecting people. This is not, this is not the 20 years ago when eHarmony was the biggest competitor. And again, eHarmony was more of a paced process. The CEO, Ed Warren, was all about how can we get people to take a pause and really get to know each other online. And, I'm not going to be biased and say that eHarmony or Bumble or Tinder's better or Match.com, but the landscape has changed, folks. We are in a society that is addicted to novelty, swiping, hitting your phone, going back and seeing notifications, seeing what's new, seeing what's customized. And it's just very dangerous when that has affected dating. Because again, after a while, what you're going to end up running into is you're going to run into a world where the young folks, the ones that are used to Snapchat, Instagram, Tinder, Bumble, whatever else comes out, I'm sure there's going to be another app that's going to come out that's just really a one word app. That's kind of the new things nowadays, right? Tinder, Bumble, I don't know, Wazoo, the names escape me, but Zeusk, there you go, there's another one. So these young folks are going to get used to simply communicating with each other digitally. So when they go to a coffee shop, when they go to happy hour, when they go to a baby shower, when they go to a cruise, when they're out on vacation somewhere that has Wi-Fi, they're going to be more attuned to their phone and their matches than making that magical moment happen. And what's going to be a little bit sad is that whenever they don't have the Wi-Fi, whenever they can't get access to their phones, it's going to be a little more amplified when they run into someone naturally. And they may confuse it for first love or, just some fling when they're in Belize, they have no Wi-Fi, and they connect with a local hotel employee, for example. And all of a sudden they find out, oh, crap. The only reason that I have this quick infatuation is because I'm away from my phone. Everything feels natural. And that's why this matters. That's why this conversation of what's happening between Tinder and Bumble, they're basically fighting for the existence of our swipes, of our activity online, rather than focusing on the society of dating. And I'm telling you right now, folks, I feel like we're in a dating recession. I really feel like we're in a dating recession. We have people that have become really cynical about the process. They're exhausted. Their attention span has shortened, and this is all thanks to who owns your matches, which in this case, thank you, Match Group. Thank you for proving to us that it's not about the connections anymore. It's about the statistics. It's about how much swiping there is, how much activity is happening on your app. And in a way, this is a fault of supply and demand. It is a fault of our emphasis on addicting apps. I remember years ago when Angry Birds was all I had to worry about when it came to addictive games. And Farmville, anyone remember that, right? Farmville and Angry Bird, it seems like eons ago. But now I've seen dinner tables full of families that were just staring at their phones. I've seen couples that are silently having dinner, staring at their phones. And these are couples. They're already together, yet they're not together. So imagine the dating process, which is it's a necessary evil, if you want to call it that, before you get to the relationship. And again, if right now we're falling victim to this swiping culture, this let me just look through pictures and look for what's better on the other side, what's better on the other side, what's better on the other side, where is that going to lead us to? We can't get back time. We cannot get back time at all. And we're looking at, getting back to the topic of the business side of it. It might be a good thing that Match doesn't buy Bumble. They can focus on looking at their websites themselves. How can they differ the Match.com from the Plenty of Fish, from the OkCupid? They need to spend some money on some of the internal websites, roll out some new features. And if they really care, they would focus on Match.com, their flagship. I mean, Match Group Limited is named after their flagship website, Match.com. Match is the older brother of all those websites. And what they really need to do is say, look, let's focus on how to make people connect. To me, that's the goodwill. Most companies have some sort of goodwill mission. They donate back to the community. They have some sort of charity or service that they provide. Well, guess what, Match? Your Goodwill, Match Group, your Goodwill should be give back to the community by having a little bit more of an emphasis on quality connections. They tried to do this years ago. They tried to do this years ago with their events, and it failed. It failed because they knew that it was a logistical nightmare, and I empathize with that. For those that have followed me from the Synergy Dating days, Synergy Dating was an events company, and it was a logistical nightmare when I sold an equal number of 20 to 30 tickets on each side, male and female, and we have an event and 5 males don't show up. All of a sudden, the females are upset, or vice versa. But I did it out of good intent. I knew that was the best way to get people away from their phones and to talk to each other. So I believe that's the best way Match needs to go, is don't try to buy Bumble. Competition is a great thing. Competition breeds success between a company. And for Bumble, just keep doing you. Keep going the path of curating this as a woman-led experience. Traditionally, we know the men are the initiators, and sometimes we can get overly aggressive, overly sexual. So when a woman leads that initial message, it's gonna be kind of like a down boy, calm down boy, and I think that'll lead to more quality companionship and quality swipes, quality picking, if that makes sense. So question for you guys, if you've made it this far, I'm really testing out the duration of these podcasts to make sure I'm not losing the audience here. So on Tinder, has your user experience improved or degraded on Tinder? You still see it as a hookup app compared to Bumble. Are you on both? Do you enjoy Bumble more? So I want to hear your comments on that. If you feel that Tinder has improved, or if you can feel that they're just trying to get you hooked on those swipes. And also the other part of that question is if you're on both apps, if you're both on Tinder and Bumble. So we got a good next topic here. It's best date ideas. Everyone's always wants to do the old, hey, let's meet up for coffee, or let's meet up for lunch or dinner. You know what? Let's hear from you guys. I want to know what are some good dating ideas. It doesn't matter if it's horseback riding, doesn't matter if it's scavenger hunt, whatever. I want to hear from you. The best date idea, okay? All you have to do is comment below. The best date idea will be entered in a $25 Amazon gift card. This is a challenge that I will respond to. The winner I will respond to on my YouTube channel, and you will get a $25 Amazon gift card. I'm not the community. You are the community, okay? We're all part of this, but I can't do this alone. I need your input. What I'm really starting to do is, what I want to do is start a revolution of awareness of dating. And if I can make dating a more enjoyable process, it doesn't mean it has to lead to marriage. But if you want to enjoy dating and you believe that this can be improved, then be part of our community, not just by hitting like, but be part of it. Again, $25 Amazon gift card challenge. Respond below with your best date idea. I'm Chris Feliciano, the Dating Doc, signing off, and thank you for listening. Take care.